Have you ever tried to install a completely legitimate piece of software only to have Windows completely slam the brakes and throw a massive app blocked warning right in your face? It is incredibly frustrating, especially when you know for a fact the app you're trying to use is totally safe. You're just trying to get your work done. But your computer is treating you like a threat. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to fix exactly that. I'm going to walk you step by step through how to safely bypass these Windows blocks, why they actually happen in the first place, and most importantly, how to make absolutely sure you're not putting your PC in danger while doing it. Let's get into it.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The Windows app block problem. 2. Always verify security first. 3. Disabling smart app control. 4. Handling persistent Defender alerts. 5. Restoring your system protection. And 6. Avoiding critical security mistakes.
All right, part 1. The Windows app block problem.
Okay, so let's dive into this. When you launch certain independent apps, Windows frequently slams the door shut with a really jarring warning. You'll see something like, Smart App Control has blocked this app, or Windows protected your PC. Now, when you see that, it feels like you've just downloaded a severe virus, right? It's scary, but that's not always the case. More often than not, this is just an overly cautious security system built directly into Windows 11, trying to do its job a little too well.
So what is this system? It's called Smart App Control. I want you to think of it like a very strict digital bouncer standing at the door of your operating system. It's basically an AI-driven protective layer that constantly monitors where a file came from and how it behaves in the background. But here's the catch, and this is why you're getting blocked. It primarily looks at the developer's digital certificate signature, basically their digital ID card. If an independent developer hasn't paid for a massive, universally recognized digital signature that lives in Microsoft's cloud database, the AI automatically flags it as a potential hazard. It doesn't necessarily mean the app is malicious malware. It just means the AI doesn't recognize the developer's ID. And because it doesn't recognize it, it blocks it just to be safe.
Moving on to part 2. Always verify security first.
So, the crucial point here is that before we even think about touching any of your security settings, you absolutely must verify the software. If we're going to lower the shields, we need to know what's coming in is safe. Step 1. Check your file sources. You want to ensure the download origin traces directly back to the developer's official web address. Please, entirely avoid third-party mirrors or those shady software catalog websites. Step 2. Run targeted local scans. You can actually just right-click the installer you downloaded, select Windows Security, and run a custom diagnostic scan just on that one single file. This ensures it's completely clean before we ever tell Windows to drop its guard.
Section 3. Disabling Smart App Control. Let's actually get this fixed.
All right, grab your mouse and follow along. First, we need to open up your security settings. Go ahead and press the Windows key plus I on your keyboard to launch your main settings menu. From there, look over at the left sidebar and navigate to Privacy and Security. Once you're in there, click on Windows Security right at the top, and then select the option that says App and Browser Control. This right here, this is the main control center for that AI bouncer we talked about earlier.
Once you are inside the App and Browser Control menu, look for the radio buttons under Smart App Control. You'll likely see it currently set to On or maybe Evaluation. What you need to do is simply toggle that status over to Off. But hold up, I need to give you a very important warning right here. Depending on exactly what version of Windows 11 you are running, especially if you're on older releases, once you turn this off, this state can become permanently locked. In some cases, you actually cannot re-enable Smart App Control without a complex registry editor fix or doing a full system reset. But with that said,
Turning it off is exactly what stops the cloud signature AI from blocking your perfectly legitimate installations, so go ahead and switch it off for now.
Now, what's really awesome to see is that with those cloud signature constraints turned off, the fix is virtually instant. Go right back to your Downloads folder and double-click that exact same application installer again. You'll notice the System Setup Wizard should initiate immediately. The file's unpacked cleanly, the installation proceeds just like normal, and there are absolutely zero blocking prompts getting in your way. Success!
Number 4. Handling persistent Defender alerts, because sometimes Smart App Control isn't the only hurdle.
If you are still getting blocked at this point, you are likely dealing with the core antivirus shield stepping in, which is Microsoft Defender. To manage this, stay right inside your Windows security window, but this time go to the Virus and Threat Protection tab. Click on Manage Settings. Here you basically have two options. You can temporarily toggle real-time protection to the off position just long enough to let the app install, or alternatively, if it's a program that constantly runs in the background and keeps getting flagged over and over, you can scroll down and add the specific file directory to your exclusions. This tells Defender, hey, simply keep scanning this specific folder in the future. But remember, and this is vital, only ever do this for software you completely and totally trust.
Which brings us nicely to Part 5, Restoring Your System Protection.
Listen closely, because this is the most critical part of this entire explainer. I literally cannot stress this enough. Leaving your system shields down leaves your computer totally exposed to incoming active web exploits. You do not want that. The exact second your software installation completes, you must navigate right back into Windows Security and toggle real-time protection back to on. You want to visually confirm that green checkmark is there, verifying that your safety gates are reactivated. Your newly installed app will keep running just fine, but your computer will stay perfectly secured against real active threats on the internet. Do not skip this step.
And this brilliantly illustrates everything we've covered in a simple, complete action matrix. If you encounter a Smart App Control alert, toggle it to off, and just remember to restore it on older builds, you might need to force the registry policy state to 1. For a smart screen filter, simply click More Info and then Run Anyway. And for an active local Trojan warning, which is often just a false positive from Defender, temporarily lower your real-time protection, but instantly re-enable it right after the setup is complete. It's a simple workflow, but you have to follow it exactly.
Part 6. Avoiding critical security mistakes. Let's move to our final takeaways and see how this builds into the real world. There are 3 specific critical mistakes that can transform a completely safe bypass procedure into a massive security risk. First, leaving your system shields off. If you forget to turn Defender back on, you are flying completely blind on the internet. It's incredibly dangerous. Second, trusting shady mirrored downloads. If you aren't getting the file directly from the official developer, you have literally no idea what a third party has packed into that installer. And finally, failing to scan files locally. Always run that custom right-click Defender inspection. Never just blindly assume every single warning is a false positive. You need to verify first and bypass second.
So, I want to leave you with one final, totally crucial question. Are your system shields back up right now? Seriously, go double-check that green check mark before you get back to work. It takes 2 seconds and saves you a world of headache. If this explainer helped you finally solve your installation problems, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more Windows and Linux tutorials just like this one. And hey, let me know down in the comments what computer problem you'd like me to solve next. Thanks so much for tuning in, and stay safe out there.